And here we have a little more used to the home environment here, sleeping up at the windowsill. This is all my girl's jewelry boxes and stuff that Pip has decided are not welcome on her dresser. So she's been knocking them off a lot lately. But see the prowling kitten. Alright guys, Nick's officially here. This was just going to be a little cut-up kitten video, but in the meantime I found KassieDill's new channel, KassieDill, and I'm watching one of her videos. I thought I might respond a little bit. Let's start with the opening statement. Just bring this up here.
Loving, caring person that cares about people around me.
Loving, caring person that cares about people around you. Not from the evidence, young lady. Now, I know you are having a bit of an issue with, you know, flagging of your videos and stuff, but as I have seen posted in comments on a couple of your other videos, YouTube is not, in fact, America. It is a public forum, but it is a privately owned business, and they have rules about hate speech. What you do, often, is easily considerable hate speech by anyone with a rudimentary education. Now, in a minute here, you're going to go on and, you know, make the plea that, you know, you wouldn't shut down or flag anybody's comments, even if they were making racist comments, or, you know, enjoining people to enlist in the KKK or whatnot, that kind of bullshit. And, well, how you feel when it's your, you know, when it's my opinions that are going to be, try to be taken down by other people. Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit flabbergasted. It really doesn't make any sense to me. I would not, well, let's presume for a moment that somehow a bunch of hate speech popped out of my mouth. And no, hate speech does not include calling an individual an idiot. Hate speech does not include saying that I think your views are unfounded and retarded and childish. Hate speech is when you come out against the gay agenda. When you start telling us that the homos are out to, you know, ruin the world and all that shit. That is hate speech. And even if for the moment we can assume that something like that would eventually come out of my mouth, which it's not going to, I would think it should be taken down. Read and obey. Obey the kitty. Chairman Meow commands it. Oh, let's see here. You go on to say, the only reason anyone would flag or take down opposing comments is because they're intimidated by how good their opinions and ideas really are. How good their opinions and ideas really are. So, for the sake of argument, let's say that someone came out and said, all white men with long blonde hair should be shot. And let's say that he has some nonsensical, inane reason for saying so. So, the reason I might want him to stop saying that is what again? Because I'm intimidated by how good his ideas really are? I've asked this question of you before. Do you listen to what you say? Do you rewatch your videos before you publish them and try to make an even, logical conclusion out of stuff? Do you realize that you contradict yourself on a consistent basis? And I quote, "Why do you want to shut me down unless what I'm saying is true? Refer to the previous point. You're being a bigoted hate monger." Now, the problem here I have is that I can't come up with many examples of what could be considered, say, anti-feminine speech or anti-woman speech that you haven't already said yourself. Remember, you're the one who says you shouldn't have the right to vote. You should effectively be barefoot in the kitchen having kids, baking fucking pies. But let's say for a moment that you did have respect for your own gender, or, shall I say, displayed it in any noticeable way. If I were to come out and say that women shouldn't have the right to vote, you would object to that, and the only logical reason you would object to that is because it's true, not because it offends you, bothers you, comes across in a way that is negative to you, your gender, creed, class, race, anything. I mean, the only logical reason is that it's true? Huh. So the only reason that black people object to the KKK, the only logical reason can be because they know that the KKK is true? I should say what the KKK believes and espouses is true, but I think you get my point. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Okay, I've been cutting this up a bit, I know. I'm not going to waste much more time. It doesn't really seem all that worth it. The reason we have the death penalty, according to KassieDill, is because the best way to discourage an action you don't like is by making it punishable by death. Run through this with me one more time, guys. The best way to discourage an action that you don't like is to make it punishable by death. Now, we could open a whole big can of worms on who doesn't like it, who is allowed to make these decisions. Well, suffice it to say, it is neither me nor young Miss KassieDill 2. The fact is, once again, that you're contradicting yourself not necessarily in word, but in spirit. And I'd say mostly in word as well. What you don't like should be punishable by death. Okay, so let's go through it here and say you get to choose one thing you don't like that's punishable by death. Let's say you choose homosexuality. Just for the sake of argument. You choose that all gays should be put to death. Now I get to choose one. I think that all gay bashers should be put to death. Fair's fair, right? I mean, I got a bunch of very good gay friends, and I'm sorry that I'd have to lose them, but I'll bet that at least one or two of them would say it might be worthwhile if it got fucks like you off the planet. Anything you don't like should be punishable by death. Give me a break. If this woman ever gets in office, I'm off to Canada in about a split second, trust me. No, there's not less murder in states that have the death penalty. Hima Juno already did this. I saw it in his Dipshit of the Week edition, I believe it was. Look at Texas, look at other states that institute and use the death penalty on a frequent basis. Texas has one of the highest murder rates in the country, and they have been putting people to death for a long time. So, to quote KassieDill, states that have the death penalty have less murder. No, they don't. You really need to do your research, and you need to do it somewhere other than Answers in Genesis or fucking Living Waters publications or wherever you get your bullshit facts. Little do you know, apparently, that there are honest census bureaus out there, and there are honest statistics published by individual states. So it's Texas itself that says that while it has one of the highest, if not the highest, execution rates in the country, it still has one of the highest, if not the highest, murder rates per capita in the country. So this whole, the death penalty makes murderers not murder anymore? Patently false. Do your research.